Let's get political.
You likely remember Initiative 2081. It was one of the series of initiatives that, thanks to Let's Go Washington's Brian Haywood, because of his backing, because of his financial support, it got enough signatures to land on the ballot. Now, last legislative session, the Democrats in Olympia needed to act in a way that would help them politically, meaning the initiatives they believed were guaranteed a victory should they go to the ballot, and what's worse from their perspective, bring people to vote that maybe otherwise wouldn't vote. Those are the bills that they just said, okay, we're just going to go ahead and pass them. Let's keep them off the ballot. Let's put the other stuff on the ballot that we think we can win via a dishonest and disingenuous political campaign. One of the bills they decided just to pass, or one of the initiatives they decided just to pass, was 2081. Didn't need to be signed by the governor. It was to go into effect. Except Democrats pulled a fast one on everyone. Because what they decided to do in this legislative session, in ways that they traditionally operate, which is under the radar until someone finds out, and oftentimes it's at the last minute, which makes it hard to organize any sort of pushback. What they decided to do was, and let's just cut to the chase on the big ticket items. They're reversing a lot of the portions of the Parental Bill of Rights initiative. And the biggie, I think, certainly a topic that we've talked a lot about on this show, is that you're supposed to know if your kid has their school pushing them into gender reassignment, changing pronouns, all that other stuff. But this new bill, and it's really one of a trio of bills, SB 5181, would undo that. They're taking that out. And the way that they are framing the bill on the left is so dishonest. I'm almost, and I mean this to the truest, in the truest form, almost speechless. That doesn't often happen. That they're so audacious in their lying that it's not gaslighting, and I don't even know if we can call it a lie. That's how bad it is. I think it's what's above a lie. Is this a new category that we must create based upon the actions of Democrats in Olympia?
Yeah.
There has to be a word that it doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, I was going to say create a new word, yeah.
We have to create a new word. Or we can just say Democrats are speaking in Olympia, and it tells you everything you need to know. Here is the State Senator Claire Wilson, who's the sponsor of the bill, just completely lying to you.
This is a cleanup bill. This is not an overhaul.
It is a cleanup bill, not an overhaul. Got it? They're cleaning it up. You got it? Taking notes?
I got my pad and paper, yeah.
Okay, well, you didn't look like you were writing anything down.
It makes it so the initiative and the current law are both clear and not contradictory.
Okay.
Approximately 90% of what was proposed and ultimately passed in the initiative was already within current state law.
Oh.
And it became clear over the interim that some of our more poorly written provisions in the initiative were causing confusion for school districts' implementation because of potentially conflicting provisions within state laws.
Okay. There's some parts of this that are in conflict with some current laws. And so I think most reasonable people would say, well, then you're changing the other laws to conform with whatever's in this initiative, right? Because the people have clearly spoken. This is our will. This is what we'd like to see happen. Doesn't that seem kind of reasonable?
Well, yeah, but we're in Washington, so.
Which means they didn't do that, and that's not what they're doing. Instead, what they're doing is keeping the current law that is protective of schools and teachers who are pushing your kids into different gender identities, confusing them seemingly intentionally, and they're just changing the initiative. They're not changing the other laws to comport with the initiative the other way around. Let me read one sentence from the Senate bill summary that's written by the nonpartisan legislative staff. They just look at the bill and they provide analysis. It's literally called House Bill Analysis. tells you in the title what it does. Quote, removes rights related to notification requirements regarding medical services and treatment. So it does kind of sound like they're not doing what Claire Wilson is just claiming so innocently. Oh, no. We're just cleaning it up so everything is, we're all on the same page and there can be no confusion. That's all we're doing.
Sounds like
It's
she's
a
all for
cleanup.
parents' rights.
Yes, I love parental rights, and I want you to have all the information concerning your kids, except the stuff that I politically disagree with and will go out of my way to lie to you about so that you don't catch on to what it is we're doing. I will read to you the portion of Initiative 2081 that they are removing from the bill or from the initiative. And I can tell they're removing it because they have a line striking through the entire sentence. Quote, to receive prior notification when medical services are being offered to their child, except where emergency medical treatment is required. So you no longer have that right under this current bill. They're pulling that right from the initiative. Another right they're removing. To receive notification when the school has arranged directly or indirectly for medical treatment that results in follow-up care beyond normal school hours. They're keeping that. You do not have the right to access records with that information.
Seems important.
No, they're just, directly or indirectly setting someone up to go get an abortion or to get top surgery. That's what they're talking about here. And even some of the non-controversial stuff, like someone says, "Man, I've got a splinter." They're going to keep that from you as well, because we got to protect the parents from knowing that. Now, what was interesting to me, there was an aspect of the initial initiative that I forgot about until I realized they took it out or are planning to take it out. The original Parental Bill of Rights said that if your kid is the victim of a crime at the school is supposed to immediately notify you. The language is, quote unquote, immediately. They're changing that to 3 days. They have 3 days to tell you under this revision if your kid was the victim of a crime at school. 3 days.
Honey, why do you have a big gash in your head? You'll find out in 72 hours.
Yeah, wait 72 hours and you're going to get a call from the principal. 72 hours. And they added something that was not a part of the bill just to make it clear that if your rights are violated, there's no private cause of action. You can't sue. This is unbelievable. And kudos to Senator Perry Dozier, the Republican from Waitsburg, who kind of called out Claire Wilson when he questioned her.
You think it's important that parents have all information about their children in schools? I just heard that. But yet you're limiting information that the parents can get with this bill. Is that correct?
Yes.
I am following state law and protecting the rights that students have with existing state law,
She's
as
a
well
hero.
as engaging and
She's a hero.
allowing families and parents to have what they have, the rights they have under current law.
Yeah, because you're taking away a right. That's what she's doing. It is, oh my gosh. I want to bang my head against this wall, which I'm going to do as we continue the rest of this clip, okay? Just if there's blood, give a warning to the janitorial staff.
So it's not what parents want. It's basically what you say state law is going to let the parents hear.
I'd like to hear from the folks who have a chance to testify, and I would love to have, we could be debating this for quite a long
I just
time.
asked for clarification on that
Yeah.
because when you said all information,
All the information that is, they have a right to have under law, and I follow state law, and I follow FERPA, and I follow HIPAA.
Here's the truth in all of this. I've said this often, and I mean it. We get the government that we deserve. This is the government that we deserve. And even though you and I personally do not deserve this, we're still a part of the collective Washington population. we've done it to ourselves because we're not winning elections that need to be won. Sometimes, through no fault of our own, we give it a really good chance and it just didn't go our way. But many other times, it's because people aren't getting engaged at all. They spread misinformation, which gets other people to not vote. Like when you tell people, oh, well, they're going to steal the election anyway. All that does is disincentivize someone from voting. We back candidates who have zero shot in the world when it's already going to be difficult to get a Republican into certain positions. We do this to ourselves. In a state that it's not like we can afford to do that. You know, if it's 50-50, if we're down by like 5 points, okay, fine. You can take some risks and go with someone who maybe wouldn't traditionally have a shot, but we really like him or her. But it's like 70-30. You can't do that. And this is a perfect issue where the Washington voters overwhelmingly said, we want this initiative. We want it. And they're just undoing it. And do you think this is going to get coverage the way it deserves to get coverage in any of the media outlets that people here in Washington State read or listen to or watch other than KTTH?
I'm sure the Seattle Times will be all over it.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they're rushing. Stop the presses! We have an important bit of legislation to talk about. What do you mean, stop the presses? That hearing was this morning. Why didn't you write about it? I didn't know until I heard about it on Rantz. This is unbelievable, and it's going to keep happening and happening and happening. And look, here's my question for you guys who are really upset about this, rightly so. What are you going to do? That seems like a valid question. What are you going to do? I'm telling you about it. So now what? I'll wait. Patiently. My head hurts from hitting it in the wall.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, do you want me to get you an ice pack?
No, I feel like the pain and this big welt reminds me of what it is I'm fighting for, so I don't need it to go down. I would like one of those Band-Aids that sticks what are those Band-Aids that stop the bleeding?
Oh.
Like when someone gets cut into the ring.
Yeah.
The little butterfly Band-Aid thing. Get me one of those, please. Or get me 7. Look at all this blood. But what are they going to do? What are you going to do? You can complain, or you can show up to a hearing and testify. You can do it online. You can send your email or make a phone call. Be civil. And most importantly, after you decide what you're going to do in the immediate, what are you going to do in the long term, which is, I need you to. I hope you hold on to this annoyance and anger and whatever else it is you're feeling. And use that to put energy into a next election that can boot people from office like Claire Wilson, who is abusing the power that she's been given. Actually, it's not even abuse because she's been given the power to do this. And she's taking advantage of it. And she hopes you don't notice.